I built everything from the new Squid Game season in Minecraft. This includes the entire island, all of the rooms, and every single 100% functional game. At the end, I even hosted a small test game for my friends. I started by making an outline for the island. I filled that in and raised the terrain a little. I then painted everything using the correct blocks and added some trees. And this is how the island looks. I'd say it's looking quite decent, right? I even added this little bridge over here, and the only notable part is this flat area right here, which we will get to. Right now, I'd say let's take a look at every single room, one by one. Okay, the first room is actually the smallest one. It's the control room. We see this quite a lot in the second season. Even the floor with the photos of the players is here. Everything should be controlled from this room, right? But I don't have like 50 friends to do all the guards and control the games. So I have decided to switch that and make it into a book, Squid Game control panel. Now everything from the games can be controlled by clicking all these lines. We'll get to this while we talk about the specific rooms. This room is actually connected to the main hallway with these purple stairs. We eventually get to this door, which leads straight to the main hallway. Now you can see this thing is actually quite tall. We have all the staircase and pathways in the air. Now if you look at the bottom, we can see that this is the photo stands. All of the players take their photos here, and then we have different entrances to all the games and the player rooms. Speaking of player rooms, this is exactly what we will talk about next. This is what I have come up with for the player room. Now you can see all the beds are lined up. We even have the X and O symbols for the voting sequences, the screen, all the ceiling thingies, including the big piggy bank. Now this is the first room that actually has some functionality. If you look at this door right here, we can see a few buttons and levers. Now the first button is actually for opening the door, so if I press it, this door will open. Now the second lever we have is this one. This is really interesting because if I press it, all of the lights will go out and only the piggy bank will light up, and the money will start flowing into the piggy bank. Now it will stack up over time once it reaches the top. Right now, I can go back, press the lever again, like this, and it will reset. Now I even made sure to include a lever just to switch the lights on and off, like this. As you see, I can just turn on and off the lights. This is useful for the nights when the players can fight in the darkness. Now past this hallway, we actually have the main staircase hallway. Right here. But this is actually not the way the players get to the staircase hallway. As you can see, there is a door on both sides of this like tunnel, right? These are actually just iron doors. And this is when the book comes in. We can see there is only one line for the player room, and that's the door to the hallways. If I press this, both of the doors will actually open. As you can see, even the second one is open. So this is really useful for when the players want to travel to the games, right? Now if we just take these stairs up and right, we go to this door, so we can just press this line which says door to the light game, right? And it will open. This hallway actually leads to the red light, green light game. Once we get to the end, we have 3 different sections like this. These are actually the doors. If we open our book again, at the red light, green light section, we can see doors entrance. If I press this, it will open. You can notice it's really dark in here, and that's intentional. I did not light up this area at all. If you remember, I mentioned this flat area of the island. This is actually the roof of the red light, green light game. You can notice there is a roof line. If I press this, the entire roof will actually start opening. Right now we can have a better look at this room. We have these 3 huts posing as the entrance to the game. We also have all the wall art, and we even have the doll which is currently facing away from us, looking at the tree behind her. Now the best part about this room is that it's actually playable. Let me explain. If I press this line right here, light switch, it turns on red light or green light, depending on which one is turned on right now. Currently the doll is facing towards the tree, that means it's green light, so I can freely move here. So if I was at the start, I could just walk, right? Nothing would happen to me. So if I press this, the doll actually turns around, saying red light, so we can't move right now. If I press green light, or press it again, we get green light and even like a bell ring sound, right? So it turns around and we are free to move right now. Now if I actually went in and played the game, let's say it's green light right now, I just run, and if I press it the last time, we get red light, but if I move, I just die, alright? I just like moved a little bit and I got killed. This will make more sense once we get to the actual part where my friends test play this. One more thing, we can actually close the roof too. Back at the staircase room, we get to the second game, which is right across this bridge right here. And we get to this huge door right here. Now if we go to the marathon page, we actually have one single line, which is door entrance. If I press this, it starts opening, right? It opens and reveals this huge room. Now not only do we have the entire decoration, including the rainbow and the timer, but we also have a functional game itself. Like in the series, we have 2 rings, and each ring has 5 games. I think the best way to explain is again to show you. Let's say we have 5 players, we just start running around this circle, right? We get to the first game. One of the players that's assigned to Dakchi just presses it, and it opens a completely different minigame. This is Dakchi, right? Because Dakchi is practically just throwing something at the Dakchi below, the blue one, so it's a little dropper game. If I hit anything on my way, I will die and get to the upper one, but if I touch the blue Dakchi without touching anything above, I win and I can continue, right? The second one is Flying Stone. This one is pretty different. If I press this button, we get a snowball and our screen is spinning around. We have to actually hit the target block in the middle like this. It's not that hard, but it's a bit harder because our screen is spinning. The third one is the game where you have to catch all of those 5 stones or something. So I represented that with catching chicken mid-air. So you have to shoot 5 chicken like this. Let's say if I failed, I could just press the button again. Let's say I shoot one of the arrows away, I can just reset by pressing this button again, right? And I can do it one more time. The fourth one is the spinning one. Now the hardest part of this minigame was actually tying the rope or the string around the cone, right? I demonstrated that by clicking this button. You get an armadillo and a lead. You have to actually lead this armadillo through this spiral-like thingy, which represents tying that string around that cone, right? So if I just push him to the edge, he will eventually come up. This is actually probably the most time-consuming one. If he reaches this platform right here, I actually win after some time, like so. And the last game is just punching 5 falling thingies in a row. Okay, I just failed. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's pretty simple. And after that, a fireworks signals that we have completed all 5 games. And after that, we just run to the finish line. The last shown game in the series was Mingle. The mingle door, it will open, like always. Then we can follow this hallway until we get to the final game. Personally, I really like this one. We have the roundabout in the center with the circus-like tent above ourselves and every single door. Now the way how this works is we just start spinning around the circle, then the doors open and then the doors close. So we only have one line that starts spinning. Let me show you. If I press this, we just start going around the roundabout. Now we can actually move our camera freely and it will still like spin in the way it should, right? If I put it at the top, it will still spin in the correct way. If I put it towards the center, I still follow the center quite precisely without moving my mouse at all. So it simulates like going around a roundabout, actually like rolling around. I think this is really cool. It looks quite sick. The way how we stop this and how we actually start a game is by pressing this thing again. We will stop spinning, the lights will go out and all of the doors will open. And after a certain time, the doors will close and the lights will go back up. Like this, right? So now we would just count if every player has found enough players to go into the rooms with, right? All of the players standing outside of the doors would be eliminated, and that's basically how the last room works. So I gathered some of my friends and forced them to play. They entered the first arena, and the huge room started opening. Now the red light green light game was actually way harder than it seems at first. At the first red light, 2 players were eliminated. The rest continued, and soon enough, the first player crossed the finish line. Both of the 2 remaining players also managed to finish in time, making Dave, Daida, and Raid the winners of the first game. All the contestants made their way back to the playroom, and after a while we continued to the second game. The Pentathlon is normally played with 5-player teams, but we played it solo as we had a limited number of participants. Dave went first, completely destroying the Dakchi game, hitting the stone in the second game right away, and he had no problems with Gongi, aka shooting all of the chickens. He managed to finish with a whole minute to spare. Aqua also did really well, but got stuck on the third game. Eventually Gongi was the reason Aqua didn't make it in time. Unfortunately, the same troubles slowed down TG, who also couldn't finish fast enough. And Gongi actually looked like the most difficult challenge yet, as even Raid stayed in this room for too long. And as only 30 seconds were left on the timer, he made it out, but he still had 2 challenges in front of him. And as impossible as it looked, he managed to speedrun the spinning top and kill the Jaggy game. Only Dave and Raid were able to complete all 5 Pentathlon challenges in time. Now we tried playing the mingle game too, and it was really fun, as we literally had to choose who to betray. Essentially all the games worked, and it was really fun trying out Squid Games on our own. Let me know if you like the world download, and definitely make sure to subscribe. See you all next time.